All right, being a new mom and a new dad can be exciting and overwhelming at the same time. It's hard work. The dynamic of your lives change in many ways, and that includes the dynamic of your marriage.
Yes. So Leslie Gustafson, did I get that right? Close to it?
Close. Gustafson.
Right. Gustafson.
He just wanted to say the European pronunciation.
I pronounced the restaurant wrong. I'm bad at pronunciations, but I do know that you're a marriage and sex therapist, and we're talking all about the new baby and how it changes the dynamic. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. It changes everything.
Does it really?
I mean, it's fabulous. It's wonderful. We all anticipate it, right? It's a miracle to have a baby. And then the baby comes and the excitement dashes, and 2 months into it, you've got dishes all over. You're arguing who's going to, change the next diaper. You're wondering if sleep or sex will ever be had again.
Well, you just convinced me to never have a child. Perfect.
Dog and a houseplant. Dog and a houseplant.
You made this sound miserable.
Wait a minute.
An upshot, okay?
Okay, let's talk about the upshot.
Issues, but we wouldn't do it if we didn't want it and it wasn't ultimately fabulous, right? But there needs to be a plan. There needs to be a plan for your marriage before the baby arrives. You want to have an amazing marriage.
So what should you talk about? Because obviously parents know to talk about the baby and caring for the baby and how...
And it's way over-focused on the baby. I mean, that's fun. The nursery, the showers, all of that's great planning and it's very exciting, but you got to talk about what do we want our marriage to look like after the baby's here? What do we want it to be like?
What are some tips?
Some tips are you got to have separate time carved out for you and your hubby. You both need to have time every day, every weekend, even 4 to 6 months, maybe do an overnighter, get your village, get your resources ready beforehand. Moms have a tendency to really hole up with their babies. It's so exciting. And they kind of do this thing to their husbands. They kind of get outed. And guys are feeling insignificant. And at the other hand, women need their husbands to really step it up. The biggest conflict is the chore wars.
I was going to say, let's talk about the chores, because I can imagine that gets overwhelming when the biggest chore at that point is the child. Not a chore in that sense of the word, but let's talk about what kind of planning do you mean? Do you mean, okay, from now on, you're going to do the dishes and I'm going to take care of the vacuuming? Or how should people plan ahead?
Or maybe you're going to think of yourself as a team who communicates all of the time. I know one couple, they actually have a tag team system where when one is really exhausted, they go, oh my gosh, tag me out. Or if one is doing better, it's like, I can tag in. And they really work as a unit together because what their primary goal is to have a marriage that lasts forever. And a lot of marriages derail, sadly, at this life stage in early childhood because it's overwhelming. People who are really romantic before baby are the ones that are most disillusioned after baby.
Wow. Really? Why is that?
Because they get lost. They no longer have the good sex that they used to have, the spontaneity, the freedom to do what they want. Their idealism is kind of dashed. But you don't have to lose that. You have to work together as a team and think about it well ahead of time so you're ready. You're ready for the baby, but you're also ready to keep fighting for your marriage because you want to make it the long haul.
We're out of time, but so as a starting point right now, people watching who are about to have their first kid, your #1 tip, what you want them to do right now before the baby comes.
Before the baby comes, sit down together and talk about it. Talk about it thoroughly. Talk about what you guys want for your marriage after baby.
Independent of the child.
Yes, independent as a couple, what do you want it to look like? What do you want marriage to be like? Vision it.
Great advice.
That is great
advice. I like you.
Oh,
You're
well,
good.
I'm glad.
You're good. That's a great advice, and I know a lot of folks...
You just found a new client.
Yeah, well, I don't have a baby yet, but I could certainly use some therapy. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope, because that was great advice.
Well, that is, I enjoyed it.
Now, if you want to go to Leslie's website, you can, and it is www.authenticandtrue.com.
You got it.
Excellent.